Stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
Can you get me a little typeset?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a potpourri hump day in the Doghouse. This is that day of the week that we kind of color outside the lines a little bit. You know, work in a couple of other topics. You know, we've got a lot going on. Look, I know that we are on the eve of the Sweet 16 and that we are on the eve of MLB opening day, which is still mind-boggling to me. Look, I get that the season is long. I understand that it goes into November. I get that. But with the expanded playoffs and my goodness, I mean, starting on Monday or Tuesday or next week, that makes just so much more sense. I mean, own the week, for God's sakes. The least she can do is own the week. I don't understand it. In any event, one of the things that has fascinated me is all the discussion regarding the new kickoff rule in the NFL. As a former special teams coach, I have already been playing with the formation and how to cover kicks, as if anybody is going to hire me, you know, to do it. But I'm still, when you're that guy and when you wrote a special teams playbook and, you know, X's and O's are still something. I mean, it's been 26 years for me since I got out of coaching. But you still want to X and O stuff. You still want to have some, I get so much enjoyment from that. In any event, the general reaction, and I need to emphasize this, because the general reaction has been that the kickoff return is back in the game. The kickoff return is back. And that this is the XFL rule from last year. Well, it's similar to the XFL rule from last year, but it is not the XFL rule from last year. And the two differences are significant, really three significant differences. First of all, the XFL kicked off from the 30-yard line. The NFL is still kicking from the 35. And the touchback in the X came out to the 35-yard line, while in the NFL it comes out to the 30. Last year, touchbacks came out to the 25. So is that 5 yards such a big deal that the kickers won't just be instructed to pound the ball into the end zone? Now, another significant difference is that the coverage team in the X lined up on the opponent's 35-yard line, so down closer to the kickoff returner, with the return team at the 30 and the return man inside the 20, between the 20 and the goal line. And you would only have one returner in the X. These things are significant. The NFL's coverage team is at the plus 40, so meaning the 40-yard line of your opponent. And they'll have 2 returners down there. Now, here's the thing. You can't just have all 10 guys running down the field to cover. Because if there's one seam in that wall, if those guys just take off down the field, you're used to seeing it because you don't see it from the end zone shot or the coaching film or whatever. You think that when they kick off, they just all run down the field, the current standard college kickoff, let's say. But they don't. Everybody has a job, all right? And you number the guys from the outside in. Number 1 is the gunner on the outside, or sometimes number 2 is the gunner. Number 1 is a contain guy. I always had number 1 as the 2 number 1s, the 2 outside guys. Those of you that are watching WZZN TV, you see my hands are moving all over the place. But you got these 2 gunners, and they're going straight to the ball. And then number 2 on each side is the contain guy. And then everybody has a lane rule. But now you're more on top of the returner. Now, from the 40, it's not as much as the 35. I would have preferred them to be at the 35. Get them right down there. But at the 40, you still got to be a little bit careful. The guy's catching the ball, let's say, at the 5. So you're still 35 yards to cover. But the blocking team, the return team, is only 5 yards away from you. So they're right there. So there's not this big run-up before you have that collision with the blocking team. And nobody can move. Until the kid catches the ball, nobody can move. Okay, so in terms of covering this thing, because one seam in that wall, and it's out the door. It's a return guy and the kicker. That's it, out the door. So the way I would do it, this is just the way I would do it, okay? You got your 2 gunners on the outside. I would still have number 1 on each side as my gunner, okay? Number 2 on each side is my contain guy. So those guys are going to contain. Nothing gets outside of them. If they try to snap it off to the outside, they contain and push everything to the inside. The gunners are going straight to the ball, or spears. We used to call them spears, gunners. They're going straight to the ball. Number 2 on each side. Those guys are my contain guys from the outside. Number 3 on each side, counting from the outside in now, right? Number 3 on each side, you got to have those guys fold, meaning peeling back, okay, a little bit, or at least hold. They're either fold or hold guys. That's what I would call fold and hold. Fold means you just kind of retreat just a hair, mirror the ball, or hold. In other words, you don't really leave the 40-yard line. You just you're in a football position. You're not really going down the field so much. You're already down the field. You're in that's your job. You kind of mirror the ball. That would be number 3. The 4s would slow play it. The 4s are going downfield, all right? The 4th guy in on both sides from the outside. They're going down the field, but they're slow playing it. They're not going hell-bent for leather. They're slow playing it. And then my 5s, the guys closest to the inside, if you will, that'd be on the hashes. I would have the 5s would be on each hash, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to the outside, to the boundary. My 5s would be like gunners. My 5s are gone. They're going. Those are all, by the way, these are all linebackers and safeties. Just so you know. These are all linebackers and safeties, basically. Okay? My 5s, so I got gunners. My 1s and my 5s are going. They're going. My 2 is contain. My 3 is fold. My 4 is slow play. Now, slow play, you go down. If it fold, you hold. Fold and hold it. You may even peel a little bit because you can't let it. You can't all go down. You can't have 10 guys go down the field. They get one seam. It's out the door. I don't mean to open the show getting all coachy with you. But it's fascinating to me. But I will say this, from a return standpoint, I like the blocking options that you have. So now you've got these different blocking options. You still aren't going to be able to double team or do any of that. But I like the blocking options that you have. And you have the threat of a reverse because you got two guys back. And you could have the threat of a throwback, or you could have the threat of a reverse type of deal. You can do that. You can't flip a guy from the front, unfortunately, like I used to do back in the day when we would pull a guy from the far side and we'd block down, block down, block down, block down, and then we'd pull a guy all the way around, a tight end. Generally, it would be a tight end. We'd pull him all the way around the formation. He'd start at the numbers on one side and go to the numbers on the other side and kick out, get that ear hole block. Beautiful thing. Not going to let you do that. But you have options. But from a kickoff standpoint, I'm going to go back to this. From a kickoff standpoint, most head coaches, most special teams coordinators are very aggressive, okay, and get in trouble. That's how I was. I got all these great ideas. I think if we do this, we can drop the guy. And I remember when they made it to where you didn't have to have all your five front guys on the kickoff return. You didn't have to have them all lined up, between 10 and 15 yards from the kickoff team. You could go all the way back to 20. And I dropped the two outside guys back all the way back 10 yards. So I had guys lining up, at the 50, and then I had three at the 50 and then two at the 40. And in the second or third game that I'd done it after it was on film, we got beat on a surprise onside kick because my guys were so far back, there was nobody there. My head coach said, don't do that anymore. But head coaches are conservative. Special teams coaches are aggressive. They're going to be head coaches that are just kick it in the end zone. That's what they're going to say. I think from a kickoff team standpoint, all of that stuff I just broke down for you, just kick it in the end zone. Just kick it in the end zone. And by the way, the whole aspect of a surprise onside kick and everything else, there were two last year. Two attempted last year in the NFL. Neither one was successful. In the last 5 years, since they made it where you don't have the run-up, you know what I mean? In the last 5 years in the NFL, there's been 18 surprise on kicks attempted. And of the 18 surprise onside kicks attempted, only 2 were successful. So this is not a big deal. Taking that part of it is not out of the game is not a big deal. My understanding, however, is that when you declare, you can only do an onside kick in the fourth quarter. My understanding, you got to declare that it's an onside, you're doing an onside kick. My understanding is on the onside kick, though, you're going back to having the old onside kick, where the old formation where you have the run up like they do in college now, where you're not pinned to the 35-yard line. I may be wrong on that one. I have to put the correct research team on it, but that's my understanding of that part of the rule. But I'm just going to say, from a kickoff standpoint, probably just going to jack the ball into the end zone and defend a 70-yard field instead of a 75-yard field. We'll just defend the 70-yard field. That's it. They need to back the kicker up, so they can't just jack it into the end zone. Back up the kicker. In the UFL, which begins Saturday, they're not doing this. They abandoned the XFL rule in the UFL, which is, of course, the blended XFL and USFL. They said, no, screw that. We're not doing that anymore. That ain't football. They're using the XFL, or they're using the USFL kickoff. They're putting the dude back on they're kicking off from the 20. There's no touchbacks from the 20, believe me. They're kicking off from the 20, and let's go play football. That's what they're doing. So tomorrow's opening day in baseball, something that has long been special to sports fans and specifically seam heads like Grizz and I. I mean, football's first. Football's first, always. But love the nightly baseball fix. And this year, the Zone once again has the Atlanta Braves. But now we have added the Rocket City Trash Pandas to the mix as well on our sister station, Talk Radio WZZN. That's you can find that at 97.7-2. Plus on the app as well. You need to get that app, get that ready to go so you can listen to Trash Pandas games all season long. And you can listen online at talkradiowzzn.com. Now, every Wednesday, we talk some baseball with Josh Carey, the voice of the Trash Pandas in Carey's Corner. We don't just talk Trash Pandas. We talk some of that. But we also talk about baseball in general. And that is coming up in a few minutes. And then at the top of the one, the 2024 Bassmaster Classic champ, Justin Hamner from Northport, Alabama, will join us to share his amazing story going from cutting the grass at the university to winning $300,000 at the Classic in what is a life-changing moment for these guys. Because you win $300,000 in cash, it's worth $1 million with all the endorsements and everything else that you get. I fished with this kid in the past. He's the best jerkbait fisherman I have ever been in a boat with, and I haven't been in a boat with Hank Cherry, but he is the best jerkbait fisherman I've ever been in a boat with, and he's got a tremendous story. He's coming up at the top of the one. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Tom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We are also on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can get a link to our YouTube channel. Welcome to our viewers at WZZN TV. Those of you that are watching on WZZN TV might note some additions and changes to the set here at the Big Dog Productions studio. We've kind of juiced things up a little bit for you. We've got some more plans coming in the very near future that we'll share with you. But I have broke out. I may change them every day. It's like the helmets of the day. Okay? Those of you that are watching, if you're not watching, you can watch. You can, or if you're listening, or if you're riding around in your car, or you're at work, you can watch the show later. Catch it at the Facebook page. You can catch it on X. You can catch highlights on X. But as those of you that are watching, you see 4 helmets that are up here in front of me. That's an Alabama helmet. Obvious reasons there. This is a Middle Tennessee helmet. I'm a big Blue Raider fan. They are my Group of 5 team. I worked there at Middle Tennessee for 5 years on their broadcast team. A Cleveland Browns helmet. Self-explanatory. And this one here. Look at that beauty right there. Check that beauty out. That is your Tennessee Valley Vipers helmet right there. One of a few different looks that they had. But this is when they were back in black. The Tennessee Valley Vipers helmet. I was the voice of the Vipers for years and years and years. No matter what league they played in for the most part. All right, so you can check that out at WZZN TV. By the way, like and subscribe there on the YouTube so you get notifications. If you go to 977ESPN.com, you get links to all that stuff. Get our app. Just search the 977 ESPN, The Zone, from your app store. I'm pretty sure you can watch on the app, too. You can check that out as well. And you can also find links to Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5, all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Check out the calendar as well. We have a very, very busy calendar for you this week. Check this out. On Friday, we have UAH baseball against Lee on Zone 2 at 4 o'clock. I'll be doing that game. So 4 o'clock on Zone 2. I've got UAH baseball hosting Lee in a Gulf South Conference game. That's at 4 o'clock first pitch. 5 o'clock is UAH softball. That's on Zone 3. The Bandyman is on that game. At 5:55, we begin our coverage of Alabama and South Carolina. That game is over on Talk Radio. And at 6 o'clock, the coverage of the tournament starts. On Saturday, we got even more stuff. I mean, it's just nuts. So you have to have all the zones to get that done. That's how that works. All right, over in the little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air. It's the one and the only, DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
That Tom? Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the f*** it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grizzalicious, what do you think about the new camera angle, the new set here? A little bit of adding a little bit of sparkle to the set, if you will, here at the Big Dog Production Studio.
No, everything looks great. Yeah, no, that's definitely what we want to see. We want to see stuff on the desk. We want to see stuff behind you. I mean, it's just going to grow for sure. I mean, that's what's really cool about when you watch some of these interviews on sports shows and stuff like that, and people that have podcasts where the light is a certain way, and you've got the neon in the back, and you've got whatever helmets in the background, or I just like if you've got pop culture kind of stuff, like Marvel kind of stuff, like Tom Luganville does. If you watch some of the videos in the background,
we don't have any of that.
Steve Merrill's got some stuff in the background too of different types of sports stuff. So it's always kind of cool to see what kind of what you have behind you, basically.
I got basically, I mean, I've got some beautiful
what
Daniel
junk
Moore
you've
artwork.
Accrued over years. Yeah.
I do have junk.
Yeah.
I do have junk, but everything I have is sports related, and that includes, the fishing stuff, because I consider that sports. It's professional fishing that I cover, but you can't see those right now. And one of these days we'll just take the camera and go around and do a segment like that and just kind of talk about some of the crap. That craps is what my wife calls it. So you get a lot of craps in your office. And I'm like, yeah, there is. There's a lot of craps here, but I dig it. That is for sure. All right, let me knock a couple of calls off because we have got our Carrie's Corner segment coming up. We start with Brandon, who's up first. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Man, I am doing fine. Yourself, sir?
Fantastic.
Yesterday you said something that I thought not a lot of people are saying, but I've heard it said. You were talking about how uncompetitive the women are, and you were talking about how badly behaved Caitlin Clark is. I know two female basketball coaches who have been saying what you've been saying for a while, and even though it's an unpopular opinion, it is very true. If they only had 16 teams or 12 teams, it might be competitive, but there is no competitive spirit in their field of 64 at all. If you look at how tight the games are in the upset, you nailed that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was only three. There was 48 games so far in the tournament. 48 games so far in the tournament. Three lower seeds won, and two of the three lower seeds that won are 5 versus 4 games. I mean, you just don't see it in the women's game. Whereas in the men's game, 48 games played so far in the men's side, and there were 13 lower seeds that won games.
I heard.
It's just. Yeah.
I heard a guy that handicaps called Vegas Runner. He was talking about it, and he was telling people, with your money, stay away from this women's bracket unless you're betting the favorites. He said, because you are not going to see upsets. And I didn't think about that. Like, I read it, and I got to looking at it, and after you said that, and I thought, that's some pretty dang good insight. So credit to you on that one. You were dead on.
Yeah. Now, I've been saying that for years. It's just not. They don't need that many teams in there. I mean, it could start with 16. I mean, that's it. You know, back in the day, it used to be 4. Back in the day, really, if it wasn't Tennessee, UConn, before that, Louisiana Tech, I mean, it was always the same people. That's why you've got a scenario where Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma, I think both have 8 championships. Gino might have 9. Or it might be 8 and 7 or something like that. I'm just going off the top of my head. I didn't research that. I think Gino has like 8 or 9, and Pat Summitt had 7 or 8. It's ridiculous.
Yep. In this situation with NFL, why are they trying so hard to ruin football? Why are they trying so hard to make it so patty cake? I don't understand it with the NFL and this kickoff. Look, sign the piece of paper. You understand you go out here and just get blown up on a return. It is what it is. It's not like you don't know. This is not the 1950s where we don't know what CTE and all this stuff is anymore. I mean, they're making these decisions, but let the players do what they want to do. It's not like they're going to give them additional money. They had that settlement, and that's it. Well, there's not going to be any more money going forward.
Well, that's right, but I do think you got to take care of the player. I mean, to a certain extent, and I like this because they've actually. This is a change that brings the return back into the game. Allegedly, I think there's going to be a lot of touchbacks anyway, but this is a play that is designed to bring the return back into the game. It is documented that on kickoff you get more concussions than anything else, but on the other hand, in the UFL, which begins on Saturday with the Birmingham Stallions and the Arlington Renegades, they are going to kick off from the 20-yard line and run the length of the field.
Well, I think that you shouldn't get the ball. You should get the ball at the 10. You ought to get a first down. This giving them at the 30 gives nobody any incentive to do anything. And I know I talked to you about it in the past. I like what the very first XFL did. We're going to put the ball in the middle of the field for the start of the game, and whoever gets it, gets it. I love the hell out of that. That was a bonanza.
And a guy got hurt. I mean, a guy got hurt on the very first one they did it. Remember, the guy separated his shoulder.
Yeah, but at least that's straight up fair, though. That's 50-50. I mean, everybody's starting from the same yard line. The ball's there. Go get it. Fastest, the craftiest person. That would be fun. If you could elect to do that to start the half, that would be worth watching if they would mix this in and then kick from the 10. I mean,
so
if you take a touchback, you take a touchback, you start from the 10. Give people an incentive not to despair catch all the time.
If you take a touchback, you start from – no, because then the guys are just going to kick it all the way into the end zone every time to push you back to the 10-yard line. Right? I mean, then the kickoff team is just going to kick it into the end zone. You'll never have a return. It's not up to the return guy whether or not you return it. It's up to the kickoff guy.
Make them kick it from where they used to kick it, not where they kick it now.
So go back to the 30. But they can still kick it to the end zone from the 30. You can't penalize them that much. You got to make it the other way. You want returns in the game. So what they need to do is if you kick it into the end zone, the offense is going to get the ball all the way out at the 35-yard line. So now you're going to drop it in there and make them return it.
Kick it from the opposing end zone. Kick it from your end zone.
Yeah, but what's that going to do? Now they're going to have the ball to 45 or to 50.
Put the guys on the 45.
No, I know that, but I mean, what is that? Do we want the offense to always be starting at midfield?
I mean, we already like offensive games anyway. We want to see more scoring anyway. I mean, that seems to be a way to get more.
That's kind of too short. I think that's too short. I think kicking from the 30, that 5 yards makes a big difference. How many times do we see the ball kicked 3-4 yards into the end zone? If you kick from the 30, I think they're going to have to return them. You know, and I would have no problem with the 25. Like I said, the UFL is going to do it from the 20. Just to make sure that the ball's in play.
Well, some of these guys, the way they kick, I think that some of them, probably top 10 kickers in the NFL, could kick from the 20 and probably still get it into the end zone. But I don't understand if you're behind.
80 yards.
I enjoyed kickoff returns. I guess maybe I was a Deion guy watching Atlanta when I was a kid, but I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I just feel like they have ruined it. And it's just not fun anymore. And it would be so much more fun if they would put it back in play.
This this is designed to put the kickoff return back in play, and it's let me tell you something. They had a lot in the XFL. They had a return on every play, and they had a lot more returns for touchdowns. I mean, it was something that was, it was back. I think they screwed the pooch when they let them change it. The original proposal was touchbacks came out to the 35, and then they moved it to the 30. And I think they heard it when they did that. I think that's going to cut down on the number of returns. Just pounded it.
Yeah, getting it at the 30 is too much. Like the 15 or something, you shouldn't. I mean, I hate that as much as I do.
You're going the wrong way.
To advance the ball down the court.
Brandon, you're going the wrong way. If you back them up more, that's even more incentive for the kickoff team to kick it all the way into the end zone. You need to make it penal. You need to make it so that he will not kick it into the end zone, so that we can get returns. Put them at the 30. If you kick it into the end zone, it should be like kicking it out of bounds. Get it at the 40, the 35, or the 40. Make them keep the ball in play. If you back them up to the 15, now I'm definitely kicking it into the end zone.
Well, I would hope they would figure out a way to let them kick it to where it would be somewhat competitive. If they looked at the average water, the distance of the kicks, okay, 60 yards. Yeah. So if you kick from wherever, they would kind of put it at a sweet spot where you're going to have to make a decision where it's not advantage, one-side advantage.
And that's how it was at the 30. And I think thanks for the call, Brandon. We got to get to Josh. That's a good job at you. I think the sweet spot's the 30, maybe the 25. But the 30 is 70 yards from the goal line. 70 yards. That's put the ball at the 30. Just back it up 5. All right, we get a break. We come back. We're talking baseball with Josh Carey next. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on at advancedlifeclinic.com.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in the field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back, and the battle for a 7th straight division title is officially on.
Stretching the pitch. Swung on, lifted to left field. That might get out of here. That's in the bullpen. Home run, Sean Murphy.
Tomorrow afternoon, it's opening day for your Atlanta Braves as they open the 2024 season on the road in Philadelphia. Braves Radio goes on the air at 1:50 Eastern, 12:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Talking baseball. Klazuski, Campanella talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque. Especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Oh, man. Just sounds so sweet. Baseball time is here. Did not watch as much spring training games, as many spring training games as I have watched in the past. But there wasn't as many spring training games also on ESPN as there were in the past. And I'm highly disappointed that tomorrow there's only one game on ESPN. And I don't know, maybe MLB Network is having, games on all day long. And, I reminisce about it. That was just always great. They have 3 or 4 games on starting at noon and going all day long, and on ESPN, and that's how it should be. But we're also starting on top of the Sweet 16, which is an issue as well. But the game always seems to survive and thrive. Josh Carey is the voice of the Trash Pandas. As I told you in the open, we've added the Trash Pandas to our family of stations. They'll be on Talk Radio WZZN at 97.7-2 and on the app and on a computer and everywhere else. It's very, very cool. And Josh joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, welcome back. How are you, man?
Tom, good to hear from you. I'm excited to be back. We had Bama last night at our ballpark, so we're excited. It's hard to believe. A week from Friday will be game 1.
Let me just say this too about that park, because I know it's been around 3 years now and so on, but I'm continue to be amazed at how well it handles like the rain and so on. I mean, it was miserable all morning long. It was bad, and people were texting me and they were saying, "Is there going to be a game tonight?" Blah blah blah. Years past, I mean, you wouldn't be able to play if it rained for 4, 5, 6 hours like that from overnight into the day. The skies broke at about 2:00 or so, and the field was in great shape. I mean, it's just amazing. Not only the job the grounds crew does, but the actual, how that place is built and how you can rely on there being a game, even if there was some rain during the day.
I'll tell you what, a lot of ballparks around the country they're understanding the importance of laying an original foundation on those fields that allows it to take in a lot of water, and that's half the battle. A lot of those ballparks you're talking about from the past, they didn't have that type of technology or that wherewithal, if you will, to set it up so that when you do get a torrential downpour, you can still work around it. I remember the old Fulton County Stadium, before it went under its renovation. I mean, you'd get a rain overnight, then the game the next day was in question. That was at the major league level. So you can imagine what it was like for a lot of these minor league ballparks. But Charlie Weaver's our head groundskeeper. He's been here since the beginning. He's the best in business. He won, I think, Groundskeeper of the Year throughout minor league baseball, I want to say 2 years ago. And he's earned every bit of that because he's one of the best, and he makes sure that field is in tip-top shape. And we try to chip in whenever we can, even though we might not always know what we're doing.
Yeah, and boy, it seems like they've made some additions out there at Toyota Field that people are going to be excited about when they get out there. The new concession stand called Sweet Space, which is a frozen yogurt stand on the first base side. I mean, oh, man, that's going to be a Nuts for You stand, which will be behind Section 3 on the Bill Penny Concourse as well, with the cinnamon roasted almonds, cashews, pecans. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to see the game. I have to go out there and just hit all these new concession stands.
Well, what we always tell people is we can't control the product on the field. That's up to the Angels. But what we can do is control what's around the field. And a big part of that is our concession stand and what we can offer fans who come to the ballpark. Not everyone wants to eat a hot dog. Not everyone wants a hamburger. They want something a little on the sweet side. And we've done that with the yogurt stand. We've done that with, the nuts. We're going to have a few other options out there, especially in the outfield. We're going to be adding some things. So we really look forward to it. And there are going to be a lot more games for kids and things like that just to keep them busy over the course of a ball game. So we're always trying to add on to the experience. We're always evaluating and reevaluating ourselves, seeing what we can do to make better. And I think there's always room for improvement, and we're going to try some new things this year.
Of course, my favorite day of the week is Dog Day, and that returns as well. Sections 1 and 2 will be available for seating with the dog. You can bring the dog and a $16 seat, and the berm you can get $8 seat and bring the dog there if you want. Dog tickets just $1, for the dog. I mean, that's good. So that'll be a lot of fun. Where is this new kids station, this outfield kids deal going to be set up? Is that just to the left? Let's see, if you're in the outfield, would it be, or if you're facing right field, is that just to the left there of the, from the rock porch up there?
It's going to be the left of the batter's eye, so in left center field is where we're going to have
left
all
center.
that
Okay.
set up. Yeah, so we're going to have that set up there. We're going to have some. We've got a speed pitch and all that good stuff where kids can go out there and play. We're going to have. I know we had it last year, but we're going to have. Not hacky sack. What do you call the one where you throw the beanbag in it? A cornhole. We're going to have a cornhole station.
Yeah, beanbag is what we call that up. Up north, we called that beanbag. You know, I didn't hear about no cornhole till I got down south 25 years ago. Then I had a cornhole. I'm like, what are you talking about? Beanbag is what we called that. But yeah, that's going to be very popular out at the old ballpark. Next Tuesday night, things get, 2 weeks from Tuesday. What is it, April 9th? Yeah, I broke into a cold sweat. Next Tuesday night would be an issue since we're still working on our technology. But no, it'll be April 9th for the home opener. You get going, though, on the road next week. Talk about this team a little bit and what we can expect to see in terms of the young guys coming up.
Well, I can't reveal the roster, but I have seen it. And what I can tell you is there's going to be a lot of guys returning. That's not really a surprise given how much, the team struggled last year. So there are a lot of guys who, it's kind of like school. You got to repeat a little bit and, see what adjustments you can make. We're going to have a lot of familiar faces. And then there are going to be some guys who I saw at spring training who I was really impressed with who are going to be joining the club as well. At least to start, I think this is going to be a very good baseball team. And that's not to say they're going to get off to a 20-10 start, but I think April should be pretty good for this ball club. And there'll certainly be a lot of changes. The Angels have been very aggressive with that. But at least to start the season, we're going to be a pretty good ball club, and it should be a lot of fun to watch. And hopefully it can build enough of a foundation to carry us through the first half, and who knows, maybe a first-season playoff berth or first-half playoff berth.
I see that a couple of days ago the Angels sent Ben Joyce to the Trash Pandas, the flamethrower, so it looks like he'll be around, right?
Well, here's what I can tell you. I saw 34 people on the roster, and you're only allowed 28. So I don't know if some of those guys are going to be DL'd. I don't know if some of them are going to be put on the development list. I don't know if some are going to be, just on the injured list. I don't know how that's all going to shake out. I think they're still trying to figure that out. And, a lot of this just has to do with what needs need to be met at each level, and what does each individual player need to develop. So, again, I can't reveal names, but I'm sure the Angels are still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, Josh Carey with us here. All right, so things get started tomorrow. You and I communicated a little bit yesterday. I am not happy with this starting on the day the Sweet 16 gets restarted because, you lose that above the – in the newspaper world, they used to call it above the fold. You lose that above the fold coverage because you're going to be secondary story to the Sweet 16. Whereas if you started on Monday, you'd have all next week to yourself. And I know it's a long season, but I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's a monthly doubleheader, bringing back the Sunday doubleheader once a month, or if it's, God forbid we go back to 154 games. I mean, the record book's all blown to hell anyway. Pitchers only pitch 5 innings. The home run records are all inflated and so on from the steroid era. I mean, would it be the end of the world if we went to 154? I don't know what the answer is, but it doesn't seem to make sense to start tomorrow when everybody's focused on Sweet 16.
From an emotional standpoint, I agree with you. From a business standpoint, I don't. And it just comes down to this. Where does the money go? And at the end of the day, the owners want to have 81 home dates with 81 attendance. They want all the money from that, and so do the players. Because if you cut back on the number of regular season games, the players are going to get paid less, the owners are going to make less money, et cetera, et cetera. And in terms of, having more media coverage than basketball, I think what they're probably thinking is, look, if you're a baseball fan, people are still going to talk about you. If you're a basketball fan, you're going to be tuned in more to basketball. I get it. I agree. I don't like the fact that we may have 3 or 4 openers snowed out. Who knows? But they're going to go where the money is. And I think something you got to keep in mind too, Tom, baseball is doing well. Baseball is not in any financial danger or what have you. But at the end of the day, it costs a lot more money to run a baseball team than it probably does a basketball team. And the owners I don't think they're happy with their profit margins. That's what it comes down to. So they're not going to take away any home dates And if you do a Sunday doubleheader, do you make it a day-night doubleheader? That's the only way that would work. So, and I don't think the players want to do that. So it is what it is, and you just smile and bear with it.
The Braves get started allegedly tomorrow in Philadelphia at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central, but 52 degrees, the projected high, 95% chance of rain. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a Friday starter opener. They always leave that with the northern teams. They always leave that day open, the day after the home opener, so that they have an option. And on Friday, it's going to be 56 degrees and sunny. So it looks like, my guess is, if I'm a betting man, that it's going to be Friday instead of tomorrow. But the Braves are one of only two teams that Vegas has listed with a win total over 100. The Braves had 101.5 game win total. The Dodgers with 102.5 game win total. Does it surprise you that the Braves and the Dodgers are considered so close to each other, basically one game difference over 162 right now when they talk about the Braves and the Dodgers?
No, because there's just so much that's unknown. At the end of the day, you got Shohei Ohtani, who's going to the Dodgers, and he'll be fine. But at the end of the day, it's a new league, and he's going to face a lot of teams, a lot of different teams on a consistent basis. He's not going to see the A's. He's not going to, he will see the A's, but not every other week. He's not going to see the Rangers and the Astros all the time. He's going to have to face the Diamondbacks and the Giants and the Braves and all that. And so you see new pitchers, you see new hitters, you see new ballparks. And so there's a lot that's unknown. And the Yamamoto, the new pitcher they got from Japan, it's his first season in American ball. So what is he really going to offer? As a result, I'm not really surprised by that, just because there's so much that's unknown about the Dodgers. I think we all know what we're going to get with the Braves. They're going to be very good, and they're going to be right there. But, there's still a lot of questions about the Dodgers. They could win 110 games. It wouldn't shock me one bit. Wouldn't surprise me if they reel them back to 95 to 100 wins. So there's just a lot we don't know. And at the end of the day, Tom, these preseason prognostications don't mean a thing. It just comes down to who can stay healthy and who can be consistent.
Well, what's really, it really doesn't matter if you win 100 games anymore, right? We saw the 100-win teams all get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs last year. So, it's all about getting into playoffs. You don't want to necessarily be the team that's got to play on the road in that opening best of three. But if you're in the playoffs, basically solid into the second round, every team that's in the playoffs has a shot to win it all. We have seen this happening now. We saw it with the Braves a few years ago when they had an 88-win team, I think it was, and they won the World Series. We saw it last year again, with a team less than 90 wins, and they're winning it all. You get hot.
Well, again, the thing with Atlanta last year, and they're not going to say this, and I don't blame them, because they don't want to make like they're making excuses. But at the end of the day, the 4-day layoff killed them. You're laying off for 4 days. Meanwhile, the Phillies are grinding out the best 2 out of 3 series. They're riding momentum. They're riding confidence. Meanwhile, the Braves clinched in early September, and were laying back for 3 weeks. So you look back at that team that won 88 games, they were riding a big wave of momentum heading into the playoffs, and that just carried them on through. And unfortunately, that's what it's going to be about. Who's playing the best baseball heading into the postseason? It's no longer about the 162-game grind. It's about who's playing best over the final 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the lineup for the Braves, largely the same. I think the biggest surprise in the Braves lineup would be, and you'd have to go back a couple of years, if you would have told me a couple of years ago that Marcell Ozuna would still be the DH for the Braves in 2024, I'd have said, I don't think so, and yet here he is coming off a 40-homer season last year, and, and he'll be the DH once again, and, they're obviously going to have a strong defensive outfield. Left field seems to always be a little bit of an issue. They, get that settled, but Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris Jr., Michael Harris II, and so many of these guys under contract long term, from a lineup standpoint, they're just no holes in there, it seems like.
Yeah, the lineup is about as solid as they can be. I remember going when we went to Mississippi to watch the Mississippi Braves last year. the minor leaguers there, you just feel for them because no matter how well they play, there's just no way of moving up in that system. But yeah, top to bottom, 1 to 9, they're fine. It's just going to come down to starting pitching. Can you get someone to go out there as a third starter? Chris Sale, I'm looking at you. That's that's who they're turning to, and that at the end of the day is what did the Braves in last year. The starting pitching just wasn't there. It wasn't awful, wasn't great either, and you need starting pitching when you look at the teams from the 90s, the starting pitching was there, but the hitting wasn't. Now it's the exact opposite. The hitting is there. The starting pitching, it's not bad. It's not great. And if you're out-pitched when it comes to October, you're going to lose. And that's what's really happened the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Chris Sale. There's also Charlie Morton. I mean, you get past Max Fried and Spencer Strider are going to be fine. You get past them, and now it's Charlie Morton, Chris Sale, Ronaldo Lopez. None of these guys, have been overly healthy. Morton, has been great in the playoffs, but he's older now. Sale is older now. I mean, so that's that. You're right. I think that's going to be the big issue in a day and age where you just give me 5. Can you just give me 5 before you turn it over to this bullpen?
Yeah, and what happens too, at least the last 2 years when they ran into Philadelphia, that's a savvy playoff ball club. They might not necessarily kill you during the regular season, but they know how to get to the postseason, and they know what to do in a short series. And that's really all that matters at this point. And if they run into Philadelphia again, don't think for a minute in the back of their brain that last season and 2 years ago isn't sitting there. The Braves, I mean.
Always a pleasure, Josh. I appreciate you so much. Going to be enjoying talking baseball every week. Going to enjoy the Trash Pandas on Talk Radio WZZN, and I'm going to enjoy jumping in the booth with you a little bit here and there. Maybe that might happen too. You never know. So good stuff. I appreciate you.
Well, we're thrilled to have you guys on board, and I'm excited. 1 week from Friday.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
1 week from Friday. Grizz, 1 week from Friday.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 1 week from
fast.
Friday. I'm excited for baseball.
Dog
days. By the way, you didn't.
Braves aren't playing tomorrow. They're not going to play tomorrow.
Well, you said dog days, man. Ooh, Ladybird perked up. I perked up. I was like, oh yeah, Wednesdays, baby. Dog days.
Cost you $1. Cost $1. Bring the dog. All right, we'll get a break. We will come back, wrap up segment or hour 1, and get you set for hour 2 next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship in insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm here today with Dr. Tracy Lowry of Veracity Vein Center. Now, how does someone suspect they have vein issues?
The most common symptoms associated with vein issues include leg heaviness, aching, and swelling, with some patients having visible veins as well. Vein issues can be easily diagnosed using ultrasound, with treatments performed as an outpatient using the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Both men and women have vein issues, though men may be more likely to ignore their symptoms when they're playing golf or walking the stadium steps. They too will benefit from correction of their vein problem. Patients can contact our clinics in Huntsville and new clinics in Madison and Coleman at 256-715-7151 or visit us at veracityweincenter.com.
Veracity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
2 down, 4 to go.
Let's get out of here and head to L.A.
It's the Crimson Tide and the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Sweet 16.
Oh, in the lane, jump shot, reverse layup, good. Oh, the freshman growing up here.
Join us Thursday, live from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Our coverage begins at 7:30 on your home for Alabama basketball. The Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday night, expect a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the lower 40s, upper 30s for some of us across the Tennessee Valley. We could also see wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Heading into your Thursday, expect a dry afternoon. We'll see plenty of sunshine. High temperatures warm into the low 60s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Bama Brad hit the text window. He said if Alabama can block and tackle as well as they did in the last game, they can beat North Carolina tomorrow night. Yeah, it's not going to be that kind of a game, I don't believe. I mean, it would be nice to see Alabama D it up a little bit, but I think that game's going to be a run and gun. That game may look more like the Lakers and the Bucks last night than it's going to look like, 1990s NBA. Looking forward to that. We'll have a full breakdown of that tomorrow as well. All right, coming up next, he is from Northport, Alabama. He worked on the grounds crew at the university, and now he's the Bassmaster Classic champion. He sits on top of the professional bass fishing world. His name is Justin Hamner. We'll tell his story next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NCAA President Charlie Baker a short time ago released a statement, said the organization's working to ban prop bets on college athletes across betting markets. NCAA is contacting officials in states still allowing prop bets on college sports and asking them to join with several states that have banned them. Also said sports betting issues are on the rise across the country, with prop bets continuing to threaten the integrity of competition and leading to student athletes and professional athletes getting harassed. NBA LeBron James expected to play tonight when the Lakers visit the Grizzlies. He was out last night with lingering ankle soreness. LA's 9th in the West, 2 back of the 8th-place Suns. Phoenix at Denver tonight, 9:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 10 Eastern ESPN. Kentucky men's basketball coach John Calipari will return for his 16th season despite another early exit from the NCAA tournament by his Wildcats.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
No payments for 90 days on 23 and 24 models. Financing as low as 0% and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 47 years in a row. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's Truck Month. The best deals on F-150, Explorer, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and Escape. During Truck Month, get financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150 Crew Cabs, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends 4/2/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have over 40 Bronco Sports and nearly 50 Explorers and about a dozen full-size Broncos, all with great sales incentives and no payment for 90 days. Truck Month only happens once a year. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Last minute shopping? Ulta Beauty has everything I need for everyone on my list. Ready to gift fragrance kits from YSL and Valentino, and the hottest gift sets from MAC, Tarte, and Lancome. Plus, everyone loves an Ulta Beauty gift card. Shop last-minute gifts that will bring joy to everyone on your list. Hurry in store or place your online pickup order today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday night, expect a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the lower 40s, upper 30s for some of us across the Tennessee Valley. We could also see wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Heading into your Thursday, expect a dry afternoon. We'll see plenty of sunshine. High temperatures warm into the low 60s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Each week, check out our latest Zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show here on a hump day in the doghouse. So glad that you are with us. We are efforting Justin Hamner now. He should be joining us here at any minute. He sometimes it's hard to get to. It's a crazy week for him. I mean, I double booked him. I double booked them because I thought it was an interesting story for this show And, being that we're an Alabama show and he's an Alabama kid, and his involvement with the University of Alabama, I thought was made for an interesting story. And we'll talk to him again immediately after this show, recording for this week's edition of Bassmaster Radio, which will feature the top three finishers, 1, 2, and 3. Adam Rasmussen, a guy from Wisconsin, and Cody Huff from Missouri, along with Justin Hamner. That'll be this week's version of Bassmaster Radio on Saturday morning. In the meantime, we can get the phone lines open if you want to jump in, 256-576-4977. We tell you that this segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford and the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, experts in the service of Ford and other makes as well. And don't forget, they're doing everything that you need done, whether it's a tire rotation or a wheel alignment. They'll do that at the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. Brake jobs as well, the oil changes, engine tune-ups, the training work. Service department does a lot of that as well. They've got you covered with your Ford or other makes, and the body shop. They have a tremendous body shop down there, and they take care of the insurance for you. They do everything. Certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well, plus the new inventory is all at the corner of Sparkman and Jordan Lane, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Woody Anderson Ford, that's my place. 20 years now. My place for 20 years now. That's exactly the way that goes. All right, as I said, Grizz, Wednesdays are usually kind of a potpourri Wednesday because we get the Sweet 16 going tomorrow. We got the Major League Baseball tomorrow. The Braves game is supposed to start immediately after our game or our show. 95% chance of rain, 52 degrees. I don't think it's happening tomorrow. I think the Braves will be, on Friday afternoon, which would just add it to the other 52,000 things that are going on tomorrow, as well. But Sweet 16 gets going tomorrow. The late game tomorrow night from L.A., of course, Alabama and North Carolina. Alabama trying to get to where they've only been once before, which is the Elite Eight. And it feels like of all teams to do it, this feels like the least likely, in the last few years to necessarily do it. But it's really kind of come together, and they have the ability to score. And if you can score, even though they played great defense against the Grand Canyon, they've got the ability to score. And if you can score in the tournament, that always is something that'll really carry you a long ways.
Yeah, and I think Nato said that after the Grand Canyon game is that, Mark Sears playing his best defense he's played all year. If their offense can be the number one scoring offense in the nation, it's like that's where they need to be. And, they need to take the shots. Sometimes I'm kind of like, when they take a lot of threes, even though that's the kind of team they are. I don't understand. A lot of teams can't make those mid-range shots from the side or from, they do it in practice every single day. I don't understand why I don't take the easy shot, but I don't play college basketball or coach it. So, when they're shooting and they're making it, they could beat anybody, and it doesn't matter if they're a Blue Blood or Grand Canyon, University. I feel like that, this is a very talented team. This is like an AAU team full of talent, and it's like if they can all connect, it's a force that you don't want to mess with.
Speaking of forces, everybody and their brother seems to be after Jason Kelsey. To be a part of their broadcast team. NBC is looking at him. CBS wants him. Amazon Prime are interested in him as well. And the Monday Night Crew, with ESPN, they're looking to try and get him to be a part of that pregame on Monday nights. In fact, you could see Jason Kelsey and none other than Bill Belichick as part of that Monday Night Crew. It looks like the guys that are in trouble are Robert Griffin III, which thank God. You need to get that guy off. That Robert Griffin III, we got to get him off at a Monday Night Football. To be honest with you, he needs to be off of everything, including X. He doesn't need to be tweeting his inane videos, his bad takes on ESPN. Robert Griffin III, to me, that guy needs to go away. The other guy that's in jeopardy, they're saying, is Larry Fitzgerald, which is, he had a part-time role on Monday Night Countdown, and his position could be in limbo, depending on how things go. You're still going to have the Ryan Clark, who is very good. You're still going to have Marcus Spears, who is very good. Scott Van Pelt will be hosting, so you're still going to have those people in place. But, the wild card in all of this is Bill Belichick. And I think people would be surprised to know how good Bill Belichick is. Again, he is pretty good. All right, phone lines are open as we have for Justin. Your number, of course, 256-5764-977. I am curious as to why young Ryan Poles hasn't just announced that they're going to take Caleb Williams. I mean, everything is indicating that they're taking Caleb Williams. And I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around, why don't they just say that they're taking Caleb Williams? But they haven't come out and made that announcement. And so we're going to continue to wait and see if that's going to happen. Did you see the video of Caleb Williams at the USC women's game with his pink phone and his pink nail polish? It looked like he might have had pink lip gloss on as well, Grizz. Did you see that?
Yeah. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, let the kid be the kid," and I'm like, I mean, teach his own. But I mean, like, I just don't understand. This is a guy that's gonna be leading the whoever's franchise. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna bank a number 1 overall pick on a guy like that? That just, I feel like, is more of a head case than a problem.
I think he's weird. Vegas has posted the over and under for the Chicago Bears at 8.5. They were at 7.5 last year, and they finished the season with 7. You know, as a big Bears fan, we should call him Bears Mike. It's the one and only Smokey Mike, who I'm sure is very excited about his Tennessee Volunteers being alive in the tournament, the only other SEC team that's alive in the big dance. Smokey Mike, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, Big Dog, what a hell of a lead-in to get me on. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams with that pink phone and pink nail polish and going to cry to his mama, you have known I have not been a Caleb Williams fan. I have wanted Justin Fields to stay, and I was so disappointed that they traded. Because all you had to do was get the Chris Carter to the Randy Moss, or the Randy Moss to the Chris Carter, who is DJ Moore, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, I'm granted Malik Neighbors is doing some great numbers today at Pro Day, but Marvin Harrison Jr. with Cole Kmet, with DJ Moore, and with the other signings that they had, DeAndre Swift, that Bears team was probably the most loaded weapon-wise that Justin Fields could have had. And I thought on a contract year he would have balled out. If you got another like Joe Alt, or get Harrison in one and get like Joe Alt at 9.
Yeah, it's a funny spot with Justin Fields, because if he does ball out, now he's a free agent. You know, what do you do? It's going to cost you $50-60 million a year, some crazy thing like that. You can't extend him. I just don't know that Caleb Williams, the rookie, is any better. And I'm not a Fields fan, but I don't know how he is any better than, what would this be, the 4th year for Justin Fields?
It would be number 3, if I remember correctly.
No, I think it's just 4. I think he's had 3 years. Yeah, this would be his 4th season. So 4th year Caleb Williams versus 1st year, or 4th year Justin Fields versus 1st year Caleb Williams, or I don't know what's going to happen with these other quarterbacks. That might be a little bit later on, in the draft. Although we're hearing now it could be as many as
I have seen a
6
scenario
taken.
that somebody has put out. I can't even remember who it was, but they had Marvin Harrison going at 1 to Chicago, and then Chicago getting J.J. McCarthy at 9, which I would rather have than Caleb Williams at 1, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. 8.5, though, the over-under. You were 7.5 last year, finished 7-10. How do you feel about that?
I'm ready to bet the 8.5 over on the Vols when I go up to Tennessee here in the next couple weeks.
Wait a minute. We're not talking about the Vols. We're talking about Chicago 8.5.
Well, you mentioned 8.5, and I told you what bet I felt like laying down right now.
I would hope that the Vols might be, a little higher than 8.5. You would think, but
last I saw it was 8.5, so it's like, what?
Really?
Show me the money on that one. You know what I mean?
So
like
Vols
7.5 a couple years ago.
So
That
Vols
before November, that was beautiful.
So Vols or Bears, who wins more games?
Vols.
Hey, man.
Vols
Appreciate
are going to
you.
the playoffs there. Vols are going to take care of business with Tuscaloosa in those 2 straight weeks in October. I still don't understand why you have Florida and Bama in back-to-back weeks. But Knoxville is going to be a 2-week drunken debauchery for that time.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But speaking of college and all that, I got to say, Mitch Barnhart did a fantastic thing last night, and I love seeing that Cal is back for Kentucky, because some of the scenarios that I saw, like possibly Billy Donovan leaving Chicago and getting back down to Lexington, that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when It's pretty bad when you're thinking about Cal and thinking, yeah, I hope Cal stays, at Kentucky so we can keep beating them. But that's kind of the scenario right now. All right, Mike. Good job by you. Appreciate it.
All right.
I do have my Sweet 16 of Tom Abraham Show producers in front of me. Mike a 2 seed, you think? Is Mike a
solid,
2 or a 3?
Yeah.
It's a solid 2?
He's a solid 2.
Solid 2 seed?
Yeah.
He's a solid 2 seed. All right, a guy who is a solid 1 seed and would be very happy if the Vols went 0-12 next year probably is your newly minted Bassmaster Classic champion, Justin Hamner. He joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Justin, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Man, I am doing great. I don't know how I'm going to follow up with that, but, man, roll tide is all I got to say.
That's all. Now, is it true you were saying that after every fish you caught? I mean, did you drop a roll tide in there? I heard a few of them. I was doing a lot of stuff, so I didn't get to see all of the coverage because I was part of the coverage. But I did hear you dropping some roll tides in there when you caught a good one.
Hey, I think if I missed one, I think Zona picked me up on a couple. So either way, I think it was dropped.
Yeah, somehow Mark Zona became an Alabama fan. I don't know. He likes to drop them roll tide in there, a little bit as well. I told the people a little bit about your story, which is fascinating, really, because there are so many guys that are coming into the game young now. And you're young. You just turned 33. Is that right?
I did. Turned 33 the day before the Classic started.
Right, day before the Classic started, you turned 33. When you and I fished together, I think you were about 27, 28 years old. And, we saw this latest class of guys that came in to the Elite Series, and they're all like 22, 23. There's a kid that made it at age 18. Is now 19 years old, and he's sitting right on top of the, of the AOI standings just a couple of tournaments into the season. But you did it the old-fashioned way. You're like working the job. You're out there, cutting the grass on the Walk of Champions and stuff like that, and working concrete and fishing on the side. I mean, what an amazing story. But you didn't have this, brand new boat and brand new electronics all handed to you on a silver platter.
Absolutely not. And, we had to work for it every step of the way. I think that just makes me appreciate it even more. And the people that actually supported me along the way. I mean, it has been insane the amount of support I had. I mean, from guys just walking up to me at like a local Tuesday night tournament, handing me $50 just for gas for the next tournament. I mean, it's been crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. I told everyone who would listen after we fished together at Hartwell in a Bassmaster Open, I told everyone that would listen that I just fished with the best jerkbait fisherman I had ever been in a boat with. Now, I ain't been in a boat with Hank Cherry. He's good. I know that he's good. But, man, what you were able to do with that jerkbait, different kinds of jerkbait, shallow running, deep running. Those that are fishermen know that this is the time of year for it. And, you made it work to your benefit and did a great job with it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you definitely saw – I guess my love affair with that jerkbait. It has been something. I mean, even when I was, a teenager growing up, a jerkbait was just, it always fascinated me with those suspended fish. Mm-hmm. And I think, and then obviously when the forward-facing sonar kind of came along, it just opened that whole, mystery of fish that we never knew about. And that jerkbait's just always been the best tool for me to be able to catch those fish.
You were fishing shallow, but you still were using the forward-facing sonar. And I know some of our listeners, even on this show, have been questioning it, whether or not it's gone too far. What's your take on it as far as the use of it? Would you like to see it be limited? I mean, because I know some of the guys have 4 and 5 of those transducers on their boat. What's your take on what professional fishing should do about it?
Honestly, I could not care less either way. Whatever direction they go, I'm all about it. I mean, it's just, to me right now, if it's available, I'm going to use it. It's proven how, much of a tool it is to catch those fish and target fish that nobody, ever went after. But, man, if it went back to, absolutely no electronics, I wouldn't care, because The only reason I'm in this sport is how much I love to bass fish, and whatever way I can do it, I'm going to do it.
So your love of bass fishing is just maybe slightly more than your love of the Crimson Tide, is that right?
Oh,
or is it close?
It ain't even close. I'll just be honest with you. After working for the university for about 6 years, and heck, every game day, you know, I was on the grounds crew, so the game days at Alabama.
We lost it there for a second, but you're talking about working and working game day for the Crimson Tide. Were you responsible at all for the Walk of Champions? Like during the week, would you be out there, you know, cutting grass and trimming and just keeping those, you know, making sure that everybody can see those statues nice?
Absolutely, that was our part. I think the funniest thing that ever happened when we were out there. I got a call, you know, we were kind of on call in the afternoon, or, you know, whenever the day was over. Got a call when I was at the house, and they said, somebody has defamed Saban's statue, you know, you got to get out here. They put something up his nose, and we got to get that out. So, you know, I go in, and, you know, we get like the pressure washer and everything, get over there. Well, it turned out it was just a spider made a web right in his nose, and it looked like there's something hanging out of there. Oh,
man, that's crazy. But I would imagine, you know, a lot of pressure at a place like that, where you know that there's going to be tens of thousands of people, you know, every weekend, and keeping those grounds in pristine condition all around that area. I mean, I broadcast from the Quad for years, right near Denny Chimes, when I was doing a game day tailgate show there from the Quad for 5 years or so, and it was always like a golf course, but there'd be thousands of people that would trample it, and then, you know, I would imagine it'd be in pretty rough shape afterwards. A lot of cleanup that has to happen, you know, before the next weekend.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of our deals that we had to have done after every game day, by 10 a.m. on Sunday, there couldn't be a piece of trash left on campus. Wow. And that's the entire campus. So, yeah, we would be out there till late Saturday night, and then turn right around, be there about 5 o'clock in the morning, and make sure everything was cleaned up before 10 a.m.
Did they resod? Did they resod the stadium turf? Do they resod that at the beginning of each season, or is that actually grown grass?
Yeah, they resodded it every beginning of the year. So yeah, every year was a brand new turf.
Did they ever have to do it during the season? You know, where resod it during the season, or basically they resod it one time and that's the field for the entirety of the 7 or 8 games?
I think it was only one time in the 6 years I was there that they had to do it kind of mid-season. They were having like some drainage issues, and so they did do it one time that I know of.
So you didn't sleep in the stadium like Rudy, did you? I mean, you didn't have like a cot, you know, in the groundskeeper's office where you would like sleep in the stadium like Rudy at Notre Dame Stadium back in the day? Because a lot of people are saying this is like a real life Rudy story.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, no, I couldn't even. I wasn't big time enough to even get a cot. I was just over there in the corner.
Stand in the corner, Hamner. I'm going to be someday in the next 5 or 6 years. I'm going to win the Bassmaster Classic and $300,000 and all the sponsorship and everything that goes with that. And then I'll come back and you know, we'll see what happens with that deal. It's just such a cool story, and it's so neat to hear about the support that you got. And one thing I know about you from knowing you over the years now for the last 6 years or so, none of this is something that you're not going to big time anybody. This isn't going to go to your head. You're out there. I don't even know if you cut your own grass anymore, but you're still taking care of business and got home and had to do whatever you got to do, give the baby a bath, you know, whatever. You know, you're just down to earth dude from Northport, Alabama.
Absolutely. You know, that was something my dad, you know, and my granddad, they distilled in me from a young age. You know, nobody likes arrogance and all the cocky and whatever. I promise I will stay as humble as I can, and I don't like talking about myself. This has probably been the hardest part about all of this. Everybody wants me to talk about myself. I just want to go back fishing.
Are you fishing the open at Logan Martin, which is not too far for you? I'm sure water that you know really well on the Coosa River.
I am not. I hope I never have to fish another open as long as I live. Those things are brutal.
They are, but I mean, there's money to be made. It's another chance to make the Classic. Not that you have to worry; you're already in a Classic for next year. How much is that?
Yeah.
How cool is that to just know? I mean, look, you're going to be. It's not like points are going to be an issue for you. I think you're 4th or 5th in the points this year. You've had a great start to the season. You're going to be a top 10 guy all year long, I would believe. But knowing that you're in the Classic next year as the defending champ, that's got to be a lot of pressure off you as well, right?
Absolutely, because I mean that is by far the most stressful part of fishing the elites is not only the staying in good points to try to qualify for the Classic, but staying in good enough points to even stay on the Elite Series.
Yeah.
And it just takes that weight off your shoulder big time to know that I'm going to be back at the Classic. Don't have to worry about that, and I can fish a lot more freely.
So since you're not fishing Logan Martin, I can't ask my friend Joey Nania for any mark a map up for me at all or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because he's fishing in that one too. So if I reach out to you, I might need a starting spot. That's all. Just one spot. Give me one starting spot so I know what I'm looking for at Logan Martin. Because
I will give you all the spots you need. They might not be any good, but after seeing you throw a jerkbait, I don't know. We might have to figure something else out.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. There's no doubt about that. With me, when I throw a jerkbait, it's a jerk at one end, looking for a jerk at the other end, So, all right. Well, Sunday night, when Alabama was playing Grand Canyon, you're the Bassmaster Classic champion. Are you into the basketball at all as well, or just the football?
Well, since Saban left, I think we're a basketball school now, right?
Stop it. The boy's going to be fine. Are you kidding me? Don't worry about the football program. I'll be fine. Yeah. So did you catch it?
They actually had it playing in the behind stage when we were about to go out for the Super 6. They had it on TV right there, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Check that out. Will you be watching them tomorrow night against North Carolina?
Yes, I'll tune in for that one.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to be hooking up with you in about 45 minutes, and we'll get our interview done for Bassmaster Radio. But it's a great story. I think you're a tremendous young man, and congratulations for getting a win. And I know all our listeners up here are really excited for you that that are fans of the professional fishing.
Hey, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. If you ever need anything, you know who to call.
You get a little Roll Tide in there? Can we get a Roll Tide?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. There we go. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, see you. I wrote a story for Bassmaster.com that'll be on there at some point in time that goes more into detail, but Grace, it's just such a cool, I see it's a real-life Rudy story. Rudy, I guess, was a real-life story, too. But, I mean, the dude was on the grounds crew. He was on the grounds crew at the University of Alabama. He was making $18 an hour working on the grounds crew at the University of Alabama, and he'd get off every day at 3 o'clock and go fishing. And he would work on his gear and everything else. And when I fished with him, he had like an older boat. He didn't have, like all the other pros had these brand new boats with the wrap on them and everything else. He had no wrap on his boat, older boat. He was fishing with these he was buying $16 rods from Walmart, and he'd cut the end off of them, spinning rods, and then he would tape up the end with electrical tape so that he could work the jerkbait without banging it against his forearm and like cutting his forearm up and everything else. And it was, this literally a rags to, and everybody's supporting him, and he's got a wife and a 3-year-old kid. People handing him money at the ramp saying, here, let me help you, and in terms of, for your tournament fishing, let me help you out with gas.
Sounds like Alabama fishing needs to get him a boat wrap, give him a Bama fishing boat wrap, man. Justin Hamner on the side of it. Imagine if he was on Alabama fishing.
Well, I'll tell you what, now he's got sponsors up the Yin Yang. He's got a beautiful brand new Falcon, all wrapped, halo rods. He's doing quite well. I mean, he's doing it. That is the prize money is $300,000. It's $1 million win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth $1 million worth of sponsorship and things like that. And so it's congratulations to him, and he's a great kid. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, we're open lines the rest of the way. I know I strayed from you. I know you said, Doug, what are you doing that for? We got baseball tomorrow. We got that Sweet 16 tomorrow. Well, it's Potpourri Wednesday. On a Potpourri hump day, we mix a little bit of other stuff in, and he's an Alabama guy. So I had to throw it out there. All right, we'll come back with more right after this on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Beginning Friday morning, get $50 worth of delicious food from Coralejos Mexican Grill for just $25 with our zone deal at 977ESPN.com. Coupons good for food purchase only.
No payments for 90 days on 23 and 24 models. Financing as low as 0% and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 47 years in a row. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's Truck Month. The best deals on F-150, Explorer, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and Escape. During Truck Month, get financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150 Crew Cabs, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends 4/2/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have over 40 Bronco Sports and nearly 50 Explorers and about a dozen full-size Broncos, all with great sales incentives and no payment for 90 days. Truck Month only happens once a year. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technologies. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The Lionsy Group.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday night, expect a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures are expected to fall into the lower 40s, upper 30s for some of us across the Tennessee Valley. We could also see wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Heading into your Thursday, expect a dry afternoon. We'll see plenty of sunshine. High temperatures warm into the low 60s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental with their 2 outstanding locations, North Parkway, South Parkway. That's where you'll find Valley Equipment Rental. Locally owned, Ross Roberts and his crew doing a tremendous job there, and you want to spend in the Tennessee Valley when you're working in the Tennessee Valley especially, and you do it with Valley Equipment Rental. They will help you get the job done right. Look, if you are a contractor, you need to be thinking about long-term rental. That is a way to go, man. They've got an incredible selection of equipment down there. You get the equipment from Valley Equipment Rental. It's not on your books. It's on their books. You're doing it on a long-term rental, all right? And if something happens to that piece of equipment, they rush out another piece of equipment and take that one and go repair it, or they come out, send with their guy out, and get it fixed up for you. If that's your backhoe, or if it's your excavator that goes down, or your skid steer that goes down, you're done. You're done for the day. Send the crew home. All right? Not with Valley Equipment Rental. They take care of all of that with you. And if you're a homeowner, you're thinking about getting some work done around the property as this weather has gotten better and better and spring has sprung, and you're doing fences, or you're ripping up sidewalks, or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, Valley Equipment Rental has what you need to get the job done, just like the pros. And if you don't know how to run something or operate a piece of equipment, they'll teach you how to do it. All right, phone lines are open for the rest of the show. 256-576-4977. Get you in. 256-576-4977. I thought Jim Harbaugh made a great point yesterday regarding the offensive line and how it's the only position on the field that every other position is reliant on. Now, we know that the offensive line is important, but he made it, it was such a great point the way he made it. The quarterback is relying on the offensive line. The running backs are relying on the offensive line. The wide receivers and the tight end are useless without a good offensive line. If none of those quote-unquote skill players can make a play without the offensive line doing their job. Now, you say, well, what about the defense? They're not relying on the offensive line. Well, you know what? Any defense worth their salt will tell you they need the offense to control the ball, to help reduce defensive snaps and to limit the other team. Sometimes the best defense is a great offense. Keep the other team off the field. And who are they relying on to do that? Their offense. And who's the offense relying on? The offensive line. We know how important line play is, but I thought the way Harbaugh laid it out was outstanding. It all of football, both sides of the ball, really. Everything that happens in football begins with the offensive line. Now, why are guards and centers some of the lowest, lower paid players in the game? I have no idea. Tackles get paid. We know the tackles are getting paid. Guards and centers, not as much. But they should. All right, you want to jump in, you can do it. Text window is open as well, 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. That gets you into the show.
You think that because the tackles get paid is because it's more like a one-on-one with a linebacker, like a guy that's getting paid, a defensive end that's getting high-end paid?
A defensive end, yeah.
Like
one-on-one with a DN, yeah. Yeah, and I think there's no doubt that but really it takes them all.
Yeah, the guards are getting smacked by a nose tackle and, you know what I mean, and a nose and the tackle. So
they're going to deal with the blitzing, the inside blitzing linebackers and things like that. I mean, there's a significant amount that
Chris Lindstrom was the highest graded player in NFL 2 years ago, and he was a right guard.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, those guys. But the way Harbaugh put it, what position in the game is relying on another position more than offensive line? Now, you could say the receivers and the running backs, or at least the receivers, are relying on the quarterback, right? But the quarterback's relying on the offensive line, which means the receivers are relying on the offensive line. The running backs, the running game is relying on the offensive line.
The kicking game's really not relying on the offensive line. You're just relying on big
but
linemen.
what other position has the responsibility of the rest of the team? You know what I mean? Now, the kicker, if it's a game-winning kick, now he's got the whole team is on his back, right? The whole team depends on him. But still, when you're talking about a position that the whole rest of the team is relying on, nobody on offense can do their job without the offensive line. And with defense, they need the offense because they don't want to be out there for 90 snaps. Can't be doing that. So Vegas has posted the win totals for everyone in the NFL. We told you 8.5 for Chicago. I thought this was a misprint when I saw it. The Atlanta Falcons win total is 10.5. 11. If you pick the over for the Falcons, they got to go 11-6. I mean, are we ready for the Falcons? They have the Falcons +3 from last year, because they were 7.5 last year, is the second biggest jump from a year ago. Houston is +4. That's the biggest jump from a year ago. And you wonder, which team is going to obliterate their win total the way Houston did. Houston's win total last year was 5.5, and they won 10. So now their win total is 9.5. But Grizz, are you ready for 10.5 as the win total for your Atlanta Falcons? I mean, is this a Kirk Cousins thing? Because it can't be a Raheem Morris thing. He's never won 10.5 games in any 2 seasons combined.
Nah, this is purely on Kirk Cousins. This is saying that, yes, you got a better guy. You spit for a better guy at quarterback. And if you look around the league, you're the best quarterback in the division. You are the best quarterback in the division. I mean, there's Derek Carr, but you're better than Derek Carr. You know what I mean? You're better. You're supposed to be better than the rookie Bryce Young. You're supposed to be better than Baker Mayfield. So at the end of the day, like, realistically, it would make sense. You have the best offense. You can build off the defense. Some of the injuries last year, probably that was huge, is the defense. I think defensively, if you can get healthy and stay healthy and then continue to build around that of what you've got, I think that the Falcons have a really good chance to win 11 games or 12 games for sure.
Their win total is by 2 games higher than anybody else in the division. I mean, they're predicted to win the division by 2 games. They're the only team in the division that has a win total that is above 500.
I mean, realistically, last year the Falcons should have gone 12-4, or it should have been something like that, or 11-5.
They were a 7-win team last year.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have lost to the Cardinals. They shouldn't have lost to the Titans. I mean,
but they did.
They did. I get it. It's professional football, but you were the better team.
But no, because you are what the scoreboard
paper,
says you
are.
are. I mean, paper, they don't play the game on paper.
I get it.
The Saints' win total this year is 7.5. Last year, their win total was 9.5, and they won 9 games. The Saints are expected to be worse. Last year, after drafting Bryce Young and getting Frank Reich as the head coach, the Carolina Panthers' win total was 7.5. They went 2-15. Their win total was 7.5 last year. So it's interesting to see who is going to be that team and who is going to be Houston. Because, Houston's win total last year was 5.5, and they won 10 games. So if you look at the teams that are like that, like this year, the Titans are 5.5. Titans are 5.5. After all the additions that they brought in, everybody that they've brought in on both sides of the ball, Titans are at 5.5. Their win total last year was 7.5. They won 6. Their win total this year, they're expected to be the same team as they were last year. I think the Titans are better than they were last year. The problem is that Houston now is so much better. The Jags, their win total last year was 10. They finished with 9. Their win total this year, 8.5. Cleveland won 11 games last year. Cleveland's win total last year was 9, and they won 11. So they come back this year to win totals 8.5. Why? Explain to me what has changed where their win total was 9. They won 2 more games than their win total, and now they're at 8.5. A hard time figuring some of that out. The Ravens last year was 8.5. They won 13 games. This year they're at 11.5. So the expectation is much higher. But who is that team that's in the 4 or 5 win total that is gonna the Titans are at 5.5, the Panthers are 4.5, the Patriots are 4.5. Who is that team that's going to do that? And who's that team that is at 5.5 like Houston was that's going to win 10 games? The Broncos are at 5.5. Broncos were 8.5 last year. They won 8. Had to get rid of Russell Wilson. Now they're 5.5. If you're a Bronco fan, you'll think about that. You were 8.5. Now you're 5.5. Well, glad you got Sean Payton. Somebody is going to way overperform. The Vikings over and under is 6.5. The heck happened to them?
Sam Darnold's their quarterback.
You got to figure they got something else planned.
You would hope, but they basically that's who they signed immediately after they got rid of.
Yeah, but he's there
just
to be
an arm. Yeah,
he's the veteran backup to Bo Nix or the J.J. McCarthy or somebody. They'll be drafting a quarterback. The Lions are 10.5. They were 9.5 last year, won 12. The Lions are 10.5, and Green Bay is 10. The Green Bay was 7 last year. They won 9. They're 10 this year. They're going to win 12. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, real quick, just wish me happy birthday. I'm the big 4 today. I didn't think I was going to make it into the show. We got the
Congratulations. The big what? The big 4? What do you mean 4?
54.
54. Oh, 54. Okay, 54 today. You don't look that old.
I'm still behind you, son.
You will be behind me until I'm in the ground. You'll be behind me, but you look good for 54. 54 is good.
Hey, I'll be there before you if I don't stop eating this fried chicken. I'm telling you.
Well,
now, I have not got to look at the set, but I heard that you've added some new things.
Yes, we have helmets in front of me here on the set. Those that are watching on WZZN will see it. We've got these beautiful, I put 4 up. I might change them every day. And see I have different ones. And I got some other little trinkets and things like that you can see that are in front of me here. And then behind me, there's going to be a camera behind me sometime in the next, probably sometime next week, and we're going to try having 2 angles. We'll kind of go back and forth between a couple of different angles and see how that works. Of course, tomorrow we'll be on camera, but we'll be tomorrow over at Corralejos. Mexican restaurant, the finest Mexican restaurant in the Tennessee Valley, will be at Corralejos, which is right over there behind, as you know, Westminster Christian. So we'll be right over there tomorrow on Monrovia. Is that Monrovia Road? Where the Publix Plaza is? I think that's Monrovia Road, isn't it? What do they call that road?
Old Monrovia.
Old Monrovia Road?
Well, I believe that I helped in that process because I had mentioned to you and Grizz in text messages, hey, you got some blank space going on. Let's kick it up a notch.
Yeah. No, you did. You were one of the ones that said, hey, clean it up a little bit. The problem is I have a window behind me, or I would have more stuff behind me. I screwed up. When I built this studio, I should have spun everything around and had all the bookshelves and everything else behind me, but I don't.
Okay, so my oldest son, I'll hang up at it. So my oldest son has Purdue and UConn in it, and Purdue winning it all. Who you got? I'll hang up and listen.
I have North Carolina over Kansas. And I'm going to check that. I have North Carolina. I have North Carolina over Houston. And I am still alive with that. But that's about all I'm still alive with. Grizz, I did note an issue.
Yeah.
There is a Danny, okay, and he's in 58th place. He's got Tennessee winning it all. It's just a Danny, okay?
Yeah.
But then as I was going down through the teams, when I was looking for David Moulton's team,
yeah,
which I can't find David Moulton's team, right?
Still can't find his name. Yeah.
No, I don't know where he is.
Okay.
So I see at 158 Wolverine Dan's nines picks one or whatever. There's another team that is called Wolverine Dan at 168 that has Purdue winning it all. So are we to believe that there are two people named Wolverine Dan that are in this contest, or is Wolverine Dan double dipping into the contest? I mean, that,
because there's Wolverine Dan 9.
Yeah, and then there's Wolverine Dan. Look at 168. Wolverine Dan 9 is in 158.
Yeah.
Then there's a Wolverine Dan in 168.
And Wolverine Dan 9s.
Yeah, and then there's a Danny that's in 58th. We'll assume that that's not him.
I'm in between both of them at 164. So there I am with Creighton.
I'm in 116. All right. Well, let's ask him. Natty Danny, how many entries do you have in our contest?
I didn't enter the entries. My wife did.
How many entries does your wife have in our contest?
I have no idea.
We only had one, so I mean, he could have used another email.
There's a Wolverine Dan in 158th place and a Wolverine Dan in 168th place. So I don't know what's going on.
I got my final four. I still got my final four. Okay, let's say that. And you know what? I'm willing to donate to the Abraham Show. I got a winged helmet. You want it?
Ooh, that would.
How about a Lions helmet? Ooh.
Is it? I'll take all. I'm not proud. I'll take any donations of helmets that you guys want to have show up on the TV feed of the show, and I will put them on the. I'll rotate them through the.
So you're just saying you'll use the helmet. You won't take the helmet and line it with a Ziploc 2-gallon Ziploc bag and make a flower pot out of it.
No. I think Michigan's helmet is one of the greatest helmets in all of, one of the greatest logos and helmets in all of sport. And I like that. And I like the Lions' old helmet, the Barry Sanders helmet, better than the current helmets. You got new uniforms coming out. The players have seen them.
Yeah,
and
but
they
I got
love
the
them.
old helmet. Yeah, I got that one. Hey, listen. I appreciate the kudos for my former coach. That was really nice of you to say that. I'm telling you, this offensive, this team. I think a lot of the reasons why we did as well as we did, and I know exactly what you're going to say. Don't even say it. But what I really think it is our offensive defensive lines were stout. And offensively, if you look at, and I'm just throwing this out here, I haven't checked it, but I'm sure points for and against were a big margin. I mean, we scored like crazy and gave up very little points.
Yeah, but you can't go by that because of the fact that there were you had such a bad schedule. You know what I mean? Schedule was so weak, it would be hard to say. It's hard to do it based on that schedule. So I wouldn't get too excited about that. But they had a great offensive line. The only offensive line really that was better than theirs was Kalen DeBoer's offensive line at Washington, which won the block. Which won the award for best offensive line.
A couple things real quick. I'll get off the air. My buddy Tim, big Chicago fan, big Bama fan. You know who he is. And I'm surprised he hasn't called in because you were talking about the points, how many games they're going to win this year. I think the Lions will definitely hit that number. And, and I think we're going to double dip on both those teams, Chicago and Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay is going to do as well as you think he is, but that's just how I feel about it. I mean, it is what it is, Tom. Where this team is starting to become should I say dynasty? Maybe I think this is the good ownership now.
Wait, whoa! So time out. You're talking about the Lions being a dynasty? Don't you have to win at least 3 Super Bowls before you're a dynasty? You got to win 3 in 5 years. You got to win 3 Super Bowls in 5 years before you're a dynasty. Come on.
Hey, this team's going to shock you, Tom. It shocked you last year. It'll shock you this year. Okay, it is what it is.
They want a playoff game. They want one playoff game.
And one more thing. My buddy Badger Larry. How lucky this guy is. I mean, he's got. You talk about pulling a rabbit foot out of his butt. He goes to Corraleos. They had no idea it was a 1-year anniversary, and they were giving out free shots. And he all kinds of stuff, a birthday cake or anniversary cake, the whole 9 yards. He got it all.
Come by tomorrow and see. I know you like Corraleos. Come by tomorrow and see me.
I love Lalo. Lalo is a good owner. You want a good owner in a restaurant? Lalo right there. He's the real deal.
way, in this Wolverine Dan, in this alternate universe Wolverine Dan, you have Arizona, Auburn, Purdue, and Houston in the national championship game, Final Four, and you have Purdue winning it all.
I didn't pick that.
I'm just saying this is the other Wolverine Dan that's in 168th
Whoever
place.
that is, if you want to be me, good luck. All right, start getting up at 5 in the morning, start busting some exercise. Don't stop until you drop. And by 8 o'clock, I got nothing left because I gave it every day. You want to be me? You can't be me. You can't handle the truth.
It's a good call by Wolverine Dan.
See you.
I don't know, Grizz. I don't know. There's just multiple Wolverine Dans. What can I tell you? By the way, I'm in 116th in our contest. I'm 12,283,049 overall. The Braves game has been moved to Friday. No opening day for the Braves tomorrow. Braves game moves to Friday. That's great. That's good, Grizz, because we really had nothing else going on Friday.
Nothing.
Nada. I know you want to build this break up to cover the break I missed, so I'm going to let you do that. We're going to get out of here, wrap this sucker up. Tomorrow, I'll be at Corralejos. Then Friday, you'll have your chance to buy Corralejos online. But tomorrow, I'll be at Corralejos. I will be having a chicken quesadilla from Corralejos tomorrow at lunchtime. So if you want to come by and say hello, you can do that. It will not be opening day for the Braves. It'll be opening day for baseball. Somebody will be playing tomorrow, but it won't be the Braves. All right, it's going to do it for the show. Coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. I'm Thom Abraham. And this is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.